guys, in this video we are about to explore on the history of the curriculum within the Economic and Management Sciences subject, in short EMS. Now we all know this is a compulsory subject for learners in grade 7 up to grade 9. Without wasting time, let's dive straight into it. It is stated that every individual has the right to proper education. Now during the apartheid era, the education system was divided, and this meant that the educational standards were not equal, whereby many children were not in position to receive proper education they needed, education that equipped them with the required and necessary skills or knowledge they needed. This is now where the curriculum had to be reviewed and adjusted to the basic needs of all learners, that it best suits each and every learner across the entire South Africa.
We're going to start with the Bantu Education Act. A Bantu Education Act is an education system in which the minority apartheid government was skewed and only the white minority received quality education as compared to other races and blacks in particular. Now, the purpose of this Education Act. This act introduced an education policy that was depicted as based on the assumption of an inferior potential in African minds, and it is also designed to prepare blacks for an inferior place in society. It is designed to perpetuate the exclusion of certain sectors of society, which are black learners, from receiving quality education. Now, coming to the EMS subject. The EMS subject aims at equipping learners with real-life skills needed to succeed and as a business owner or as an entrepreneur. The subject covers three main areas of study, which are the economy, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. So now, the act was placed in 1979 and EMS was only introduced in 2004, meaning during the Bantu Education Act, EMS was not part of the curriculum.
Moving first to OBE, outcome-based education was adopted and implemented from the Australian government post-1994. It focused on the mastery and competency of learners, where learners can be able to critically come up with solutions to solve their immediate needs. For example, becoming entrepreneurs and creating employment. Also, it focused on the process of wealth creation. Outcome-based education came up with a lot of criticism from various stakeholders, such as trade unions, where they felt that teachers could not interpret the curriculum. Also, it was rushed because of post-apartheid. The South African government felt that they needed to implement a curriculum that will be suitable for everyone. And certain objectives and aims were encompassed within CAPS document following the introduction of EMS, such as learners should be able to effectively work with others and organize oneself, develop entrepreneurial qualities, use technology and science to solve their immediate needs, such as creating employment, and also they should use critical thinking and problem-solving skills.
And that takes us to Curriculum 2005. Curriculum 2005 was implemented in 1998 with the aim to eliminate the apartheid education system inequalities. Now, when it was traced and related to the context of EMS, which is Economic and Management Sciences, it was discovered that there were factors hindering successful implementation of the curriculum, which posed difficulties to EMS teachers. The first factor was lack of alignment between the curriculum and the assessment policy. The previous assessment policy or evaluation criteria did not specify learning outcomes on a grade-by-grade basis, which confused teachers on what knowledge, skills, values, or attitudes needed to be taught in EMS. And they had to identify small, context-specific outcomes that they wanted learners to achieve. And they derived that from the context of activities that they would engage learners in order to attain the desired objectives. Teachers were also required to use the smaller outcomes they received as a framework for teaching, planning, and assessing in an outcome-based manner. They were also required to be aware of what was coming up in their planning so that they did not focus too much on isolated activities. The second factor was teacher training and development. There was a need for intense, innovative in-service teacher development programs with an emphasis on addressing the immediate capacity shortfall in the EMS learning area. And this was more of a solution than a problem. Then the last factor was lack of teaching materials, variation, and infrastructure. Now, teachers in historically underprivileged schools were unable to carry out Curriculum 2005 due to issues such as lack of teaching or learning materials, lack of financial backing in order to initiate further training, large class sizes, as well as historical factors such as poverty, discrimination, and so on. Thank you.
Revised National Curriculum Statement was revised from Curriculum 2005 by Dr. Naledi Pandor. It is built on the vision and values of the Constitution of Curriculum 2005. It was revised to strengthen design features, fixing the assessment and curriculum, also to improve learner support and training. The aims of revised National Curriculum Statement to provide learners with a broad understanding of the economic environment and the role of the business in the economy, to equip learners with financial literacy and to learn more about personal finance, investments, and savings and budgeting. Also, to equip learners with skills and knowledge to make informed economic decisions.
And I will be taking over and continue with National Curriculum Statement. It is called National Curriculum Statement because it was implemented in 2002. The one that was implemented in 2002 was Revised National Curriculum Statement, but there's a difference between these two. The difference is that National Curriculum Statement came as a way of improving the quality of the curriculum that was implemented in 2002, which is known as Revised National Curriculum Statement. National Curriculum Statement had objectives just like any other curriculum statement. So in this subject, Economic Management Science, also known as EMS in short, this curriculum had its own objective in this subject. So the first objective was to equip learners with real-life skills. These skills could be interpersonal skills that will assist learners to solve problems maybe in their workplace and make informed decisions in their workplace or in their life in general. It will also assist learners to think creatively and communicate effectively with their co-workers or employees in order to achieve the objectives of the organization that they will be working for. NCS was also intended to equip learners with knowledge, values, and attitude to participate in their society as a whole after completing their studies in the high school level. Unfortunately, NCS was not longer effective enough, which means it did not work for the purpose that it was intended for. There were failures that led to this curriculum being replaced. So, the first failure was that this curriculum, the teachers that were using this curriculum to teach the learners back then, they were not trained enough, or the induction was not conducted effectively. Hence, it poses the challenges to the teachers to be able to incorporate it in the learning in the long run. Thank you.
I'll be reviewing the CAPS document, which is the latest curriculum that is currently used in South African schools. The CAPS was introduced in 2012 by the Minister of Education, and The aims of the CAPS was firstly to equip learners with knowledge, skill and values, to help learners transition from education into the workplace. And also, when CAPS was introduced in 2012, it has incurred different challenges. Firstly was the overcrowded classroom, especially on the public school and the level or quintile level 1 school. Also, there is also lack of service training for our teachers. There is also lack of teaching materials. There is limited textbook, limited exercise and other resources for teaching. CAPS in relations with the context of the EMS. CAPS was introduced so that learners in the senior phase can learn about problem solving. CAPS was introduced in the senior phase from grade 7 up until grade 9, and it's introduced the EMS as a mandatory subject. And under EMS senior phase CAPS document, it should have covered 3 main areas of study, which is the economy, for instance, where we find our 8 business functions, our business plans, our trade unions. Then we have the financial literacy, where it covers the data's journals, the source document, etc. And lastly, we have the entrepreneurship that cover the business functions and the business plan, etc. Thank you.
That's a wrap from us. Thank you for watching our video. Remember to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ciao.